All right, so happy early love day, everyone. I wanted to do an intuitive download for you today to start to really tune into the frequency of your soul, of that highest potential within you that is guided by love, that is felt through your intuition. So, today's post, you'll see a picture of a dear friend of mine who I actually, man, I watched probably 20 years ago and is Ricky Byers Beckwith, who was with Michael Beckwith probably 20 years ago. And I still remember her energy. I still remember her vibration. I still remember the sound of her soul. And as this beautiful musician, I was compelled to come give her a hug and just share with her through my heart frequency beyond words how much she meant to me. And you can see that in this picture here because it truly is the universal language of love, the language of the heart that is felt through the intuition. And when we tune into this frequency, we're able to open new worlds, new frequencies, new energies to start to align us with success. And success can mean a lot of things to different people. So today I invite you to ask, what does success mean to you? So go ahead and as you think about it, notice what was the first thing that came to mind? Was it related to business? Was it related to health? Was it related to relationships, personal life? And whatever that is, that first thing that came into your mind is your priority. Now, the next two things that come to mind are visions or goals that support that. So go ahead and think about the next two things that you would like after that first goal and notice how they are interrelated. So everything is like a domino effect. So when we have a core energy inside of us that is operating from love, everything ripples out into love. Now, when you have a core energy that is operating from a place of unconsciousness, meaning the subconscious mind acting out in a mental pattern or an emotional state, that can actually disrupt not only our nervous system, our entire life, but our soul's frequency that is trying to get through, that is trying to express itself through love. Now, the way you know this is when you feel fear, doubt, judgment, anger, negativity, right? Those are called what I call blocks, right? Emotional, mental blocks in the energetic field. Now, these can eventually be stored in the body. And we talk about that as disease, right? So that's when it gets to a really critical state. So we can handle it at any point, but we want to get it kind of nip it in the bud right before, even before it even starts to manifest and to form. We can see that frequency, right? And that's what I do as an intuitive success coach is I see the energy that's blocking you. And I also see your infinite potential, your soul's wisdom, your purpose, why you're here. Now, I do this for companies and individuals. I've been doing it for over 20 years now. For those of you that may not know my story, I started my company when I was 19 years old on this theory that we have the answers within us. And I opened my private practice, built a wellness center a couple of years later, and a certification school, became an author, speaker, and it just unfolded through love. So that is my purpose, and it's continuing to grow. I started a nonprofit called One Heart Global, where I serve children internationally in different countries. So your purpose is going to unfold from love. So we talk about that a lot in the certification course, where you can actually come into contact with your soul's frequency and allow it to express itself through you. So you can, of course, at any point go to the site lifeforceconnection.com to learn about everything in detail of our sessions and certifications in our wellness center here in Cardiff, California. So for now, what I want you to really notice is when you start to bring to mind what it is that you want, what is the resistance, the fear, or the block, the limiting belief that starts to come up. So just start to notice the energy you feel. So for me, sometimes I feel like a tension, like in this moment, I felt a tension in my heart. So wherever you feel that energy, go ahead and place your hand there. I invite you to place your hand there if you'd like. And you're going to start to feel into that energy, that frequency, and go ahead and bring that energy into your right hand. We're just going to look at this as a part of you and a part of you that's just wanting your attention. We're just going to ask that part what it needs, what it's telling you, right? So everything is energy, right? And it has a voice, so to speak, right? It's speaking to you. So as you start to tune in and listen, again, go ahead and ask, what does it need? So maybe it's a fear. Maybe it's a fear saying, ooh, I'm expanding really quickly. Am I ready to receive all that's here? Or what will people think, right? So just notice the different maybe thoughts that are connected to that emotion. Now, if you'd like to go to the deepest root cause of it, you can ask yourself, when's the first time I felt this feeling? So when you go to that first time, you can get an image. And as you see the root cause of that, go ahead and ask that younger you what it needed at that time. And what I mean by that are what are the emotional resources? So maybe you needed to be heard, maybe you needed to feel loved or to feel a state of peace or calm. Whatever that is, go ahead and give that to that younger version of you and anybody else in the situation what they needed. Knowing that, yes, it's true. Everybody's always doing the best they can in the moment. And as we start to access these other resources now in this present moment, both you and those around you, whether you're in your mind clearing the past or in the present or in the future, can tap into these higher emotional resources. So that sense of wholeness is restored. So, again, giving yourself and anybody else in this situation memory, what they needed. And maybe it's just in this present moment something you need. And just notice as you listen to the need, you're actually expressing love to yourself. You're connecting to that part of you and bringing love to it. And the return to wholeness is bringing back all parts of you to love because that's who you are. So as you start to give yourself that, integrating that, notice a new belief that starts to come. It could be something like, I am loved or I am lovable. And then once that transformation happens, go ahead and place your hand back on that area where you originally felt that block. And notice how at least some of the energy is start to free, it start to move. And your natural life force energy is always meant to flow, right? So as that opens to more and more expansion, you're able to not only breathe more, but receive more. One of my favorite phrases is breathe and receive, right? I got it from a yoga teacher a long time ago. And really, you're breathing and you're opening up to receive all that's already here for you, right? Because you are it. And you are already loved and chosen. You chose your purpose. You are here to fulfill it. So, as you feel this energy opening, start to notice how much closer you are to your goal, how much easier it is to take steps forward. And start to just notice what the next thing is that you need to do to bring this vision, to bring this goal into reality. And because you already have the answers within you, you will know the answer to this question. What is the next step that I need to take to fulfill my dreams? So go ahead and write that down. Notice what it is, feel it, connect with it. And then, of course, take action on it. So as you take the action, you set the energy into motion and it comes into form. And then you'll get the next step and the next step, right? But the clearer you get on your purpose, the easier it is to fulfill. So go ahead and bring your awareness back fully to this present moment. I invite you to close your eyes, start to center all your energy into your heart. And then just imagine a golden spiral of light going down from your heart to your core, connecting with your gut, the very center of your being. And just feel yourself surrounded in this golden glow of white light. And then around that, just go ahead and see this blue hue of energy protecting you. And then around that, go see this fuchsia, just light pink energy of pure unconditional love, holding the frequency of your highest attraction factor, your highest love. So this can be for business, for relationships, for your health. And just notice how good it feels to be surrounded in love and to continue to take steps in love until you celebrate the day where you are living your dreams as reality. So thank you for joining me in this brief audio. It's always wonderful to connect with you. And again, if you haven't been there already, I invite you to go to lifeforceconnection.com to meet our team, check out our wellness centers, our certification program, and our sessions. All right, talk to you soon. Lots of love, guys.